E-waste piles up in developing countries. This article provides a summary of its contents in the following manner. Introduction. A brief overview of the e-waste issue and its implications for both the environment and human health. 2. The growing problem of e-waste. Statistical information and data pertaining to the surge in global e-waste production. B. Negative impact of e-waste on the environment and human health. 3. Causes of e-waste. The factors that contribute to the generation of e-waste. B. The role of technology advancements and consumer behavior in the e-waste problem. 4. Solutions to e-waste. Various solutions to address the e-waste problem, such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and government policies. B. Successful examples of electronic recycling and circular economy practices. C. The importance of consumer awareness and responsibility in reducing e-waste. 5. Challenges to addressing e-waste. The challenges faced in addressing the e-waste problem, such as lack of awareness, inadequate infrastructure, and insufficient government policies. B. How these challenges can be overcome. 6. Conclusion. The importance of addressing the e-waste problem for the sake of the environment and human health. B. Take action by promoting electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior. Introduction. A brief overview of the e-waste issue and its implications for both the environment and human health. Smartphones, televisions, and other electronic equipment. The rapid growth of technology and the increasing demand for electronic devices have led to a significant rise in e-waste production globally. This electronic waste, or e-waste, refers to discarded electronic devices such as computers. Rise in e-waste has a severe impact on the environment and human health. When improperly disposed of, e-waste can leach hazardous chemicals and metals into the soil and water, contaminating the environment and posing a risk to human health. Toxic substances such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and brominated flame retardants can cause a range of health problems such as respiratory issues, developmental problems, and damage to the nervous and reproductive systems. Additionally, when e-waste is incinerated, it releases harmful pollutants into the air, contributing to climate change and its associated health impacts. Given the exponential growth in e-waste generation, it is essential to address this issue by promoting sustainable practices such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior. These initiatives can help reduce the negative impact of e-waste on the environment and human health while preserving valuable resources and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. 2. The growing problem of e-waste. A. Statistical information and data pertaining to the surge in global e-waste production. The amount of e-waste generated globally has been steadily increasing in recent years. According to a report by the Global E-Waste Statistics Partnership, GESP, the world generated 53.6 million metric tons of e-waste in 2019, with a projected increase to 74.7 million by 2030, representing a growth rate of 38%. Another report by the United Nations University, UNU, estimates that the amount of e-waste generated globally has increased by 21% in just 5 years, from 44.7 million metric tons in 2016 to 54.7 million in 2021. This report also predicts that global e-waste generation could reach 74 million metric tons by 2030 if no action is taken. The same UNU report also found that Asia generates the highest amount of e-waste, accounting for 24.9 million in 2021, followed by the Americas with 13.1 million and Europe with 12 million. Additionally, the report found that the per capita e-waste generation in developed countries is 3 to 4 times higher than in developing countries. These statistics indicate that the issue of e-waste is a global problem that requires urgent action. The increasing amount of e-waste generated globally highlights the need for sustainable practices to manage e-waste and reduce its impact on the environment and human health. B. Negative impact of e-waste on the environment and human health. E-waste has a significant negative impact on the environment and human health. The toxic chemicals and materials present in electronic devices can cause severe damage to both the environment and human health if not handled properly. When e-waste is disposed of in landfills, the toxic chemicals can leach into the soil and groundwater, polluting the surrounding environment and posing a risk to human health. These chemicals can persist in the environment for years and can cause long-term damage to ecosystems. For example, lead can cause brain damage in children, while mercury can cause neurological damage and impair cognitive function. E-waste also contributes to the release of greenhouse gases, which can have a significant impact on climate change and its associated health impacts. When e-waste is incinerated, toxic fumes are released into the air, which can cause respiratory problems, skin irritation, and other health issues. Additionally, e-waste is a source of valuable resources, and the improper disposal of electronic devices means that these resources are wasted. The mining of raw materials used in electronics production, such as gold, copper, and silver, can also have significant environmental impacts, including deforestation, soil erosion, and water pollution. Overall, the negative impact of e-waste on the environment and human health is a serious issue that requires urgent action. By promoting sustainable practices such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior, we can reduce the amount of e-waste generated and minimize its impact on the environment and human health. 3. Causes of e-waste. A. The factors that contribute to the generation of e-waste. Several factors contribute to the generation of e-waste, including 1. Rapid technological advancements. The rapid development of technology and the increasing demand for electronic devices has led to a rise in e-waste production globally. As new and improved technology is introduced, older devices are quickly replaced, resulting in a significant amount of electronic waste. 2. Planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence is a practice used by manufacturers to intentionally design products with a limited lifespan. This practice encourages consumers to replace their devices frequently, contributing to the increase in e-waste. 3. Disposable culture. Many people today have a disposable culture, which means that they view electronic devices as disposable rather than long-term investments. This mentality leads to the disposal of electronic devices that are still functional and could be reused. 4. Lack of awareness and infrastructure for electronic recycling. Many people are unaware of the environmental and health risks associated with improper e-waste disposal. Additionally, in some regions, there may be a lack of infrastructure for electronic recycling, making it difficult for people to dispose of their electronic devices responsibly. 5. Globalization of the electronics industry. The globalization of the electronics industry has led to a shift in manufacturing to countries with lower labor costs and fewer environmental regulations. This has resulted in the export of e-waste to developing countries, where it is often disposed of improperly, posing a significant risk to the environment and human health. Overall, addressing the issue of e-waste requires a comprehensive approach that considers the various factors that contribute to its generation. By promoting sustainable practices such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior, we can reduce the amount of e-waste generated and minimize its impact on the environment and human health. B. The role of technology advancements and consumer behavior in the e-waste problem. The role of technology advancements and consumer behavior is significant in contributing to the e-waste problem. Firstly, the rapid development of technology has led to a culture of frequent upgrades and replacements. Manufacturers release new electronic devices at an increasingly fast pace, rendering older models obsolete in a short time. This planned obsolescence strategy encourages consumers to purchase new devices regularly, leading to a rise in e-waste generation. Moreover, consumers' attitudes and behavior towards electronic devices play a crucial role in the e-waste problem. Many consumers have a disposable mentality, viewing electronic devices as temporary and easily replaceable, contributing to an increasing amount of e-waste. This consumer behavior, combined with the practice of planned obsolescence, leads to a significant amount of functional electronic devices being discarded in favor of newer models. Additionally, the lack of awareness and education on e-waste disposal and recycling exacerbates the problem. Many people are unaware of the environmental and health risks associated with improper e-waste disposal. They may not know that electronic devices should be disposed of through proper channels, such as recycling centers or electronic waste disposal programs. This leads to a large amount of e-waste ending up in landfills or being illegally dumped, posing a severe risk to the environment and human health. Overall, technology advancements and consumer behavior are critical factors that contribute to the e-waste problem. Addressing these issues requires a comprehensive approach that includes promoting sustainable practices, educating consumers on the environmental impact of their actions, and enforcing responsible e-waste disposal regulations. 4. Solutions to e-waste. Various solutions to address the e-waste problem, such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and government policies. There are various solutions available to address the growing problem of e-waste. Some of these solutions are: 1. Electronic recycling. Electronic recycling involves the collection and processing of electronic waste to recover valuable materials that can be reused. Electronic recycling helps to reduce the amount of e-waste that ends up in landfills and minimizes the environmental and health risks associated with improper e-waste disposal. 2. Circular economy practices. Circular economy practices aim to create a closed-loop system in which resources are conserved, and waste is minimized. This involves designing products with a focus on durability and reparability, reusing materials, and recycling products at the end of their lifespan. 3. Responsible consumer behavior. Consumers can play a significant role in addressing the e-waste problem by adopting responsible consumer behavior. This includes reducing unnecessary purchases of electronic devices, repairing and upgrading devices when possible, and properly disposing of electronic devices when they reach the end of their lifespan. 4. Government policies. Government policies can also help address the e-waste problem by enforcing regulations on the disposal of electronic devices, promoting electronic recycling programs, and supporting the development of a circular economy. 5. Extended Producer Responsibility, EPR. EPR is a policy framework that requires manufacturers to take responsibility for the environmental impact of their products throughout their life cycle, including the disposal of electronic devices. EPR policies can help promote sustainable practices and reduce the environmental and health risks associated with e-waste disposal. In conclusion, addressing the issue of e-waste requires a multi-pronged approach that considers various solutions, including electronic recycling, circular economy practices, responsible consumer behavior, government policies, and extended producer responsibility. By adopting sustainable practices and promoting responsible behavior, we can reduce the amount of e-waste generated and minimize its impact on the environment and human health. Be successful examples of electronic recycling and circular economy practices. There are several successful examples of electronic recycling and circular economy practices that have been implemented to address the issue of e-waste. 1. Apple's recycling program. Apple has implemented a comprehensive recycling program that allows customers to recycle their old electronic devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Macs, at no cost. Apple also uses recycled materials in the production of its new devices, including recycled aluminum and tin. 2. Dell's closed-loop recycling. Dell has implemented a closed-loop recycling program, which means that it uses recycled materials from old devices in the production of new ones. This approach reduces the need for new raw materials and helps to reduce the amount of e-waste generated. 3. Fairphone's modular design. Fairphone has developed a smartphone with a modular design, which means that customers can easily replace and upgrade individual components instead of buying a whole new device. This approach promotes longevity and reduces the amount of e-waste generated. 4. The European Union's Circular Economy Strategy. The European Union has developed a circular economy strategy, which aims to promote sustainable practices across all industries, including the electronics industry. This strategy includes measures to promote the reuse and recycling of electronic devices and to reduce the environmental impact of their production. 5. The Basel Convention. The Basel Convention is an international treaty that aims to reduce the movement of hazardous waste between countries. The treaty has been successful in reducing the export of e-waste from developed countries to developing countries, where it is often disposed of improperly. These successful examples demonstrate that electronic recycling and circular economy practices can be effective in reducing the amount of e-waste generated and minimizing its impact on the environment and human health. By promoting these practices on a larger scale, we can work towards a more sustainable future. C. The importance of consumer awareness and responsibility in reducing e-waste. Consumer awareness and responsibility play a crucial role in reducing e-waste. With the growing demand for electronic devices, it is essential to educate consumers about the environmental and health risks associated with improper disposal of electronic waste. Here are some reasons why consumer awareness and responsibility are crucial in reducing e-waste. 1. Extending the lifespan of electronic devices. Many consumers dispose of their electronic devices even though they are still functional. By educating consumers about the importance of extending the lifespan of electronic devices through repair and upgrading, we can reduce the amount of e-waste generated. 2. Encouraging responsible disposal. When consumers dispose of their electronic devices, it is essential to do so responsibly. This means recycling or donating devices instead of throwing them away in the trash. By promoting responsible disposal practices, we can reduce the amount of e-waste that ends up in landfills. 3. Promoting sustainable purchasing decisions. Consumer purchasing decisions have a significant impact on the environment. By promoting sustainable purchasing decisions, such as buying electronics with longer lifespans and repairable components, we can reduce the amount of e-waste generated in the first place. 4. Supporting circular economy practices. Consumers can also support circular economy practices by purchasing refurbished or remanufactured electronic devices. This approach promotes the reuse of components and reduces the need for new raw materials, thereby reducing the amount of e-waste generated. Overall, consumer awareness and responsibility are critical in reducing e-waste. By promoting sustainable practices and responsible consumer behavior, we can work towards a more sustainable future and minimize the impact of e-waste on the environment and human health. Challenges to addressing e-waste. A. The challenges faced in addressing the e-waste problem. such as lack of awareness, inadequate infrastructure, and insufficient government policies. While addressing the e-waste problem is important for the environment and human health, there are several challenges that need to be overcome. 1. Lack of awareness. One of the main challenges in addressing the e-waste problem is the lack of awareness among consumers. Many people are not aware of the environmental and health risks associated with improper e-waste disposal, and they may not know how to dispose of their electronic devices responsibly. 2. Inadequate infrastructure. In some regions, there may be a lack of infrastructure for electronic recycling. This makes it difficult for people to dispose of their electronic devices responsibly and can lead to the improper disposal of e-waste. 3. Insufficient government policies. Another challenge in addressing the e-waste problem is the lack of sufficient government policies and regulations. In many regions, there may be a lack of regulations or inadequate enforcement of existing regulations, which can contribute to the improper disposal of e-waste. 4. Export of e-waste. The export of e-waste from developed countries to developing countries is also a significant challenge. Developing countries may have less stringent environmental regulations, making it easier and cheaper to dispose of e-waste improperly. This can lead to serious environmental and health risks for people in these countries. 5. Rapid technological advancements. The rapid development of technology and the increasing demand for electronic devices also pose a challenge in addressing the e-waste problem. New and improved technology is introduced frequently, leading to the rapid disposal of older devices and the generation of e-waste. B. How these challenges can be overcome. To overcome these challenges, it is important to promote awareness and education about the environmental and health risks associated with e-waste. Governments can also implement policies and regulations to promote sustainable practices such as electronic recycling and circular economy practices. Investment in infrastructure for electronic recycling can also help to ensure that electronic devices are disposed of responsibly. Additionally, collaboration between governments, manufacturers, and consumers is necessary to address the e-waste problem effectively. 6. Conclusion. A. The importance of addressing the e-waste problem for the sake of the environment and human health. Addressing the e-waste problem is of utmost importance for the sake of the environment and human health. E-waste contains a wide variety of toxic chemicals, including lead, mercury, cadmium, and brominated flame retardants, that can cause severe damage to the environment and human health if not handled properly. When e-waste is improperly disposed of in landfills, these toxic chemicals can leach into the soil and groundwater, polluting the surrounding environment and putting local communities at risk. When e-waste is incinerated, toxic fumes are released into the air, which can have a detrimental impact on the air quality and the health of those living nearby. In addition, e-waste also contributes to the release of greenhouse gases, which can contribute to climate change and its associated environmental and health impacts. By addressing the e-waste problem through initiatives such as electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior, we can minimize the negative impact of e-waste on the environment and human health. Properly disposing of e-waste through electronic recycling ensures that toxic chemicals are properly handled and valuable resources are recovered for reuse, thereby reducing the amount of waste that ends up in landfills and incinerators. Circular economy practices that extend the life of electronic devices can reduce the need for new electronics, thereby reducing the demand for the production of new products and the associated environmental impact of manufacturing and disposal. Responsible consumer behavior can also reduce the amount of e-waste generated by minimizing unnecessary purchases, promoting the reuse and repair of existing devices, and ensuring proper disposal of old devices. Overall, Addressing the e-waste problem is essential for the protection of the environment and human health. By adopting sustainable practices and promoting responsible consumption, we can work towards reducing the negative impact of e-waste on our planet and creating a more sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. B. Take action by promoting electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior. Electronic recycling involves the proper disposal of electronic devices, which can include dismantling them to recover valuable materials, such as copper and gold, that can be reused in the production of new products. By promoting electronic recycling, we can reduce the amount of e-waste that ends up in landfills or incinerators, which in turn helps protect the environment and human health. This can be achieved by working with local recycling centers or donating old electronics to organizations that specialize in recycling them. Circular economy practices involve extending the lifespan of electronic devices by repairing and refurbishing them, instead of disposing of them when they are no longer needed. This can be done by seeking out repair services instead of buying new electronics or buying refurbished electronics. By promoting circular economy practices, we can reduce the amount of e-waste that is generated and extend the life of existing products, thereby reducing the demand for new ones. Responsible consumer behavior involves being conscious of our consumption habits and making sustainable choices. This can be achieved by adopting a reduce, reuse, and recycle mindset when it comes to electronics. For example, before purchasing new electronics, we can consider whether we really need them or if we can repurpose existing electronics for our needs. We can also donate or resell electronics that are still in good condition, rather than simply throwing them away. By promoting responsible consumer behavior, we can reduce the demand for new electronics, and therefore, reduce the amount of e-waste that is generated. Overall, by promoting electronic recycling, circular economy practices, and responsible consumer behavior, we can work towards reducing the amount of e-waste that is generated and protect our environment for future generations.